draw was the very least you deserved that today, you think?
I think so, yeah. Absolutely. Especially when, from my position on the bench, our players were complaining bitterly that there was a handball involved. I can't honestly say from the bench I saw that, but of course I have seen it now. And I think that most people, when they watch the TV tonight, will feel sympathy for us, because it wasn't exactly a touch of the hand, it was actually a hand which helped the ball on its way to the player who scored the goal. So I think that was really unfortunate. But it was tremendous the way the players came back from that. It's not easy when you've played as well as we'd done in the first half and worked so hard to come in leading by a goal to nil, to see that wiped out within the space of 5 or 6 minutes. And the second one, to perhaps something which you're entitled to feel was unjust, to come back in the way we did and get back and eventually equalise and come away from the game with 1 point. The players are going to be very pleased with that, very satisfied, and they deserve a lot of praise and congratulations, in my opinion, for their performance.
Two very well taken penalties as well, mate.
Yeah, and two good pieces of play, I thought, in open play, which led to Arsenal being forced to commit a foul in the penalty area. Apart from that, they were very disciplined in the penalty area. There was lots of situations where, had they been a bit less disciplined, they might have committed a foul, because we had the ball in that part of their territory very, very often. I thought that, for the 2 goals, the amount of possession we had and in the final part of the field and the amount of penalty area entries we had, I think that 2 goals is a fairly scant reward for our performance.
I mean, after having one save last week, it didn't seem to affect him.
No, well, that's all credit to him. I mean, I think that's an individual thing. I think that to step up once again to the plate, having missed a decisive penalty, which probably did cost us points up at Everton, as most people have suggested, to step up again in 2 very, very important situations, one just before half-time to put us in the lead, and then one to rescue a point. I think that's great credit to Luka Milivojevic. It's not just a question of technique in those situations, it's a question of mental strength. As we all know, from when you work with teams that are going to be involved in penalty shootouts, there are lots and lots of theories how penalty shootouts can always go your way, but the bottom line is this, that when penalty shootouts come around, you need players with the mental strength to step up and score the goal, because if it was a question purely of technique, every single player on the field has got the technique to do it.
A word on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Up against someone of Aubameyang's quality, he really showed his quality today.
Well, I've got to say, I thought that we were playing against a team today, packed full of real quality players, and that's not surprising, since they've just won 11 games on the bounce and are looking like a really, really good team. I thought to keep all of their players of note so quiet as we did. The one we didn't keep quiet was Xhaka with his bullet of a free kick. But if we take the players playing up the front, I've got to say, I think that our front players and the players we had offensively in our lineup were much more noticeable today than the Arsenal ones, and that's great credit to the quality of the defenders that I have in Crystal Palace team.
Roy, you made a couple of earlier substitutions today. Both seem to be quite positive.
Well, last week we were unlucky in terms of both Alex and Max Meyer, who are obviously close to the team, were both injured or sick. To be more to the point, they weren't injured; they were both suffering from a virus. So, of course, when you've got players of that quality on your bench, you are always looking towards them when things aren't going your way to see if they could come on and change things around. And luckily for me, both did.
Roy, can I just ask, as a senior football figure, for your comments on what's been a difficult weekend for football with Glenn Holland's heart attack and the tragic events at Leicester, to put the game into perspective?
I think it's something which is events which should definitely put the game of football in perspective. I was really disappointed early on in the day to hear about Glenn, obviously someone I know, to hear that he'd suffered a serious problem before the game and had been taken to hospital and was being treated there. That was really, really bad news and affected me, of course, but it was then exacerbated by the news later on after the Leicester City game, which I just watched on the television, that the helicopter, presumably carrying the owner and president of the club, had crashed. There are no words really that can describe how you feel in those situations, and all you can do, I guess, is to offer your condolences and your sympathy to obviously the family and relatives of the chairman himself and to everyone at Leicester City Football Club. It's a bad moment. It's a moment which sobers everyone up in football and tends to put some of the glitter and the glamour firmly to one side. Nothing can compare with life and death, and it's important, I think, sometimes that we recognise that football is a village. We know everyone very well in our village. They almost become family to us. So when something like this happens, you do get the feeling that in some way you've been affected by events which have hit you in your family. So all I can do is wish Glenn a very quick and speedy and full recovery, and extend my sympathies to Leicester City Football Club and to Vichal's family, and hope that they can deal with their grief.
Thank you very much. That's it. Thank you. Well done.